What pictures? Dude, I just switched you, man. Look, you're happy. You didn't go freaking deer hunting and kill somebody out in the wild.
The one with the Godfather thing.
Why? Oh, we gotta talk about that.
You look like some fucking little lunatic.
Oh, man. Let me do it for you. Hold on. There you go, Phil.
All right, I guess the starts now was my cue. If you could have watched Arvin trying to assault this table, yeah, that's got to be outlawed in most of the states. Hey, anyway, we're going to pick up where we left off. We're still talking about 9/11 and carried over into this round. Give me 1 second. We're going to bring Bud on the line. Bud, are you with us? We can. Thanks for holding during the break. Sorry about that. How you doing? Well, you know what's funny? I mean, I'm going to defer to Mike on that one because Mike served in Desert Storm 1.
Vietnam and Korean War, Civil War.
They used to call me G.I. Joe. No, I mean, I think I think that the threat was always, I think we knew, the United States knew that we were a target, and the threat was always there. I just don't think, you see what happens here, sometimes that kind of information, that kind of thing, it's always kept obviously out of the public discussion. There's things that are going on right now, threats that they're never going to acknowledge. It doesn't matter how real or actionable it is, because you don't want to create a panic. It's a different mentality in other countries, let's say like Israel. You know how they live over there, and whenever there's a hint of a threat of an impending attack, I mean, it is public knowledge. The people know what to do, how to react for the most part, and that's how they deal in other parts of the world. Here, I mean, we knew something could happen here. I don't think we ever thought it was going to be that big. So that was a big surprise.
But in the past, I mean, you had Oklahoma, you had the first attempt at the World Trade Center. Those were eminent and prevalent at that time. But I think, in my opinion, I think what has happened is that, like you just said, people or our government just did not want to release it to the consumers and create a panic.
Right.
Ever since that has happened, everybody's been vigilant. I mean, for every little thing, somebody sneezes and you're turning around trying to see what the heck is going on. But I think that our government, by not creating a hysteria based on a lot of the constant threats that we get, I think has actually made that difference. Now it's out in the open. From WikiLeaks to the internet to social media, the technology has actually taken us far beyond to what we were 10 years ago, and now it's all known. You do something, everybody knows about it. So that's how now people are still in their mind thinking, what happened right after the 9/11 attacks? 5 years later, 3 years later. Oh, expect another one because that's what's going to happen. Look what happened in Spain. Look what happened in London. Look what happened in all these other locations. That it created a buzz and awareness. But, I think we as Americans still feel that it can't happen to us again because we're going to be so cautious and profiling. Yeah. You can't bring a nail clipper on board.
Well, that's what I think that it's one of the bad things about the aftermath. We went almost in a panic mode. We were reacting to everything. We created the TSA, and we put some things in place that really. does not make us safer in the long run. It looks like we're safer because we got to take our shoes off when we go through the airport. We can't take a bottle of cologne because somebody can blow up the plane or blind the pilot and take over or whatever. But it doesn't really make us that much more secure. I mean, the people that work on the planes themselves, the contractors that bring the food onto the planes, all those people, they don't go through the same security checkpoint. They don't go through the same scrutiny. I mean, so it's more of an appearance that we're safer through those measures. Are we safer because of other things that we're doing in the background that we don't know about, the average person, whether it's the intelligence community or the military, special ops? Probably, and I mean, at least we got them on the run. But again, you can't get too complacent because, it could happen again, no doubt.
It's funny, I got in trouble 10 years ago, and I know one of your questions was, why did we think it couldn't happen? And one of the things I annoyed a lot of people about 10 years ago is I felt, and I was one of them, there was an inherent arrogance amongst a lot of us thinking, here we are, this superpower, nobody's going to mess with us, no one's ever going to do this. So I think a lot of people got offended and upset with me and said, well, how dare you say that we were arrogant? And I wasn't saying that people walked around puffing their chest. But to your point, why did we think this was never going to happen to us? I was one of those. I was of the belief, no one's ever going to want to mess with us because we'll just squash them.
Well, I think, it's who knows, man. I mean, there's also the reports and books and whatever about the administration that was in at the time, whether they took some of the warnings seriously or not. I mean, that's neither here nor there now. I mean, we really don't know what's going on. So, could it happen again? Yes, but the other thing we also got to remember is we were not attacked by another country. We were attacked by a movement. So, it's not like we knew who attacked us or we can just go invade a specific target. Right. Exactly. So it was more of a network and a movement. So exactly. So it wasn't as easily understood at the time. I don't think most people didn't even know who Al Qaeda was.
Hey, Bud, I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but we're going to take another call from Raw. I want to thank you for calling in and thanks for listening.
Thanks,
take care.
Man. Have a good one.
Am I saying this correctly? Is this Ro?
Oh, this is Ro.
This is Ro. Okay, Arvin got all excited there for a second. Go ahead, Arvin.
Hey, look at that smile.
Wait.
Look at that smile. I know.
Is this ButtaSnatch?
Wow. All right. And nobody got to the button quick enough there.
No, but is this Ro, the young lady that visited us in studio one time?
This is her.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I remember.
Wow, I wasn't here that day, and the grins on these two boys' faces, bro. Wow.
Well, anyways, how you doing?
Just move on.
Yeah, we're talking about 9/11. What was your experience that day?
So what was it? I mean, okay, so what was it like for you, first person? On a serious note, I mean, you had something to do that day, but what was it like? I visited. Well, you know, one of the things I heard is, I heard from people, I had a history teacher one time who talked about visiting Gettysburg. And he talked about how he had this ominous feeling when he went over there and all these, you know, that you could feel the souls. And he was a big history buff. And when I was in high school, I thought that was the lamest thing I'd ever heard. I'm like, you don't feel anything. Well, 2 years after the attacks, I took my mom and my wife, we went to go visit Ground Zero, is what it became to be known. And it was the eeriest feeling, and again, you know, I'm not a big, you know, ghost kind of person or a big believer in just about anything, but there was such a sense of despair and loss that you could feel just standing at the gate. And so, you know, I'm curious from your perspective, being there, and you commented that the skyline was there one second, gone the next. What was it for a true, you know, a lot of people from New York said it was like a just getting hit in the gut. Let me ask you about the boards with the pictures. You know, again, living on the West Coast, we always got the Reader's Digest version of everything that goes on. And obviously there's nothing like being there. But up until about 6 weeks ago, I saw a documentary. I didn't realize to what extent people were going through to try to get pictures on blackboards and buildings and windows and doors and signs to look for their loved ones. I mean, how was it for you over there? I mean, did it become one of those things where, you know, everywhere you turned there were just faces and faces of people trying to find their loved ones?
Bro, can you hang on for a second? We gotta go to another break. Do you mind holding on for a little bit and we'll finish off on the other side of this break? Okay, stand by. You're listening to the Three Guys Rant on AdrenalineRadio.com. We'll be right back after this break.
I didn't realize I was only 10 when this happened.
What?
I know. I was only 10. Well, what did he say? I was only 5 or?
I was only 4, but I was there.
You know what it sounded like? A lunatic boy used to be.
Lunatic white boy?
Don't know the sailors?
Yeah. No. Not the homeless guy. The young kid. The one who sold us the show.
Yes.
It sounded like him.
That's what I was trying to place. I'm like, fuck, I know this voice. Yeah. The other one, is it ButtaSnatch? This is a big booty, bro. Where did ButtaSnatch come from?
That's what you look like, what? I wish you could see your face.
So, now, is she calling to plug something?
Ask her. Hey, you told me to get the word out. I contacted over 3,000 people to call in.
No.
I figured if I can get a 1%, we're good.
Hey, I'm just excited we're getting calls.
I think,
who
wrap
takes
it
care
up
of you?
with her so we can talk maybe about how it's going to be remembered. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about Chaz Bono.
You got a boner for Bono? Is that what it is?
So what do we do? Maybe like this.
No. Then we're just going to tell her, hey, you know what? I know Arvin had you called in. It's just something you wanted to plug. You were going to be in the country this, tell us the show and move on.
Hey, don't you rush my
Tell her,
ButtaSnatch, man.
Tell her what?
Well, thank you for sharing your experience.
No. I understand that. I mean,
See? Ro Delagrassi, ButtaSnatch.
How do you spell her name?
Hey,
Use R-O, right?
that's all me. It's RODEL.
De la what?
Ro, space, RO, space,